Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Friday, March 18th slate of NBA and college basketball games. NBA is finally back. It has a decent slate today instead of the one game that they had on yesterday. So this is going to be a very long video. I'm going to cut right to the chase. First thing I did just want to go ahead and say, we are on the road to 6,000 subscribers. At the time of recording this video, we are less than 400 subscribers away. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do and giving such a small channel such a big chance. It truly does mean a lot to me. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap as of yesterday. We ended up going 3-1 on the day. We did have Creighton +2. That was an absolutely extremely sweaty bet. We did have New Mexico State. That one ended up working out for us. We had Arkansas -5. Dude hits a wild shot, a wild three to put them down by 2, and then it was just the free throw game from there. There just wasn't enough time on the clock. So that one was just kind of a bad beat. But then we did have Akron +13.5 versus UCLA. Truly not much of a sweat. That game was very close the entire way. So, we ended up going 3-1, but we have a lot of plays to get into, so I don't want to ramble on too much. We have 3 plays in March Madness, and we have 3 plays in the NBA. We had such a great slate of basketball yesterday, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Our first play of the day, we're going to be taking Virginia Tech +1 versus Texas at -110 odds. Virginia Tech, they've actually covered in 3 straight games, so they're coming off very hot at the end of the season, and they've covered in 5 of their last 7 games. Now, if you look at their game log recently, they've had some pretty great wins. They ended up beating Duke by 15. They ended up beating North Carolina by 13. They ended up beating Notre Dame by 7, and they ended up beating Miami by 32. So all of these were fantastic wins here for Virginia Tech towards the end of the year, and all these teams are obviously in the tournament. So I really like that. They've been playing good against good teams, and following a win, which Virginia Tech did have over Duke, they are 14-8 against the spread, and in neutral site games, they're pretty good as well. They are 4-2 against the spread in neutral site games. And if you look at the flip side, Texas is starting to trend in the wrong direction. I just think that the wrong team is favored here. I truly do. Texas hasn't covered in 6 straight games, and in neutral games this year, they're 0-2 against the spread. So I think that we see a little bit of value here for Virginia Tech, especially if the game ends on a buzzer beater. Texas somehow ends up winning by only 1. It does, allow us to still get our money back. So that's our first play of the day. Virginia Tech +1 versus Texas at -110 odds. Second play of the day is going to be Iowa State +4 versus LSU at -110 odds. Iowa State, they have covered in 4 of their last 7 games, so coming off pretty hot here towards the end of the year, one of the hottest teams towards the end of the year in college basketball. And in neutral site games this year, they are 2-1 against the spread. And as an underdog this year, they've been really good too. They love to prove people wrong. They are 11-6 against the spread as an underdog. And if you look at LSU, I know they're having a lot of different issues over there in LSU, just absolutely so many. But they haven't covered in 3 straight games. And in neutral site games this year, they are 1-4 against the spread. So, once again, I think that this spread's just a little bit too high. I do think Iowa State actually ends up winning this game outright. I think that today is going to be a huge day for upsets, even though yesterday totally was too. Kentucky losing, that's absolutely nuts. But anyway, yeah, so that's our second play of the day. Iowa State +4 versus LSU at -110 odds. Our third play of the day is going to be TCU +1 versus Seton Hall at -110 odds. TCU, they have covered in 4 of their last 6 games, and they've also covered in 6 of their last 9, so they've been really solid here recently towards the end of the year. And as an underdog this year, they are 11-5-1 against the spread. And following a loss, which they did have right at the end of the year, they are 8-3 against the spread following a loss. And Seton Hall, on the other hand, they are starting to trend in the wrong direction. They are they've only covered in 2 of their last 7 games. And as a favorite this year, they're 8-13-1 as a favorite. So not very good odds there. And in neutral site, they haven't covered once. They're 0-4 against the spread in neutral site games. I love this play here for TCU. I think that the wrong team is favored once again. So I'm taking my chances here with TCU +1 versus Seton Hall at -110 odds. Now we're going to go ahead and hop into our NBA plays of the day. Like I said, we do have 3 plays, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Don't want to spend too much time. So first play of the day for NBA, so I guess fourth play of the day, however you want to look at it, is Aaron Gordon under 12.5 points versus the Cleveland Cavaliers at plus 100 odds. Aaron Gordon has gone under this exact line in 4 of his last 5 games. And last time that these two teams did match up, he did end up going under as well. And in the last 7 games, the Cavs have actually been a really solid team defensively at the power forward position, despite losing Jared Allen. They actually allowed the 5th fewest points per game to opposing power forwards. And overall this year, we all know that Cleveland's been a very good defensive team. They do allow just the 3rd fewest points per game to opposing teams in general. And they also play at a super slow pace, and I think we all know that, especially if you guys have watched any of the Cleveland Cavaliers games. They do play at the 2nd slowest pace in the NBA, and Denver, they're not too far ahead of them. Truly, they do play at the 10th slowest pace, so just a little bit faster, but I'm truly not worried about it. Both these two teams play super slow, and on top of that, they are really good at defending the power forward position. So I think we see a ton of value here. We're going to be taking the under plus value, so have a good chance of doubling our money here. So I really like our odds. Our next play of the day, this is going to be the last time that we see them if they hurt us. I'm just saying that now, but we're taking New York Knicks -5 versus the Washington Wizards at -115 odds. Surprisingly, the Knicks have been really, really solid recently. They have covered in 7 straight games. No, I'm not joking. Go ahead and fact check me. They have covered their spread in 7 straight games. And Washington, they're trending in the wrong direction. They're on the flip side of things. They have not covered in 5 straight games. And the New York Knicks, if you look at it over the course of the season, they truly haven't been, very good, and there's not a whole lot of stats to back it up. The only one I could say is that anywhere from 2 to 3 days off, they are 9-4 against the spread. But other than that, there's not really any stats to back it up. If you look at it from the flip side, though, for Washington, on the road this year, they are 10-22-1 against the spread, so not very good, and just 26-40-2 against the spread on the season. So we're going to be taking the hotter team here, the New York Knicks, -5 versus Washington at -115 odds. Now, our final play of the day, which is going to be, I guess, our 6th play of the day. We're going to have a huge card today. Our 6th play of the day is going to be Reggie Jackson of the Los Angeles Clippers over 19.5 points versus the Utah Jazz at -120 odds. Reggie Jackson has gone over in 3 of his last 4 games. He's been really good at scoring the basketball. And Utah is actually a pretty good matchup for them. I know most of the time we know Utah for their great defense, but they have allowed the 3rd most points per game to opposing point guards in their last 7 games. And overall this year, the Utah Jazz, they do give up the 13th most points per game to opposing teams, and they play at a super fast pace, which is going to give the Clippers a lot of extra possessions. They play at the 8th fastest pace in the entire NBA, so it's going to speed up this Clippers offense, and I think that Reggie Jackson is one of the main guys that does benefit from that. I think that he does get a lot of extra shots today, so I think we see a ton of value here for him to just score 20 points. So I really like our odds here. Reggie Jackson over 19.5 points versus Utah at -120 odds. Now, I'm sorry that was really long. I'm sorry that I was talking super fast, but I didn't want this video to be like 10, 15 minutes long. So I wanted to get everything out there. But we had a great day of March Madness yesterday. Let's go ahead and run it back. Let's see if we can get 2 profitable days in a row, combining NCAA and NBA. I'm super excited for it. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Like I said, we're on the road to 6,000. Make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. But for now, this is King Center signing out. Peace.